Hi there. Welcome back to Quiz Time. I'm your quiz master, Alicia, and I have another 100 questions to get your brain buzzing. Let's get started. What is the closest U.S. state to Africa? Maine, Florida, New York, Maine. What did Hans Christian Andersen always carry when he visited hotels? Candle, rope, pillow, rope. Why can't hippos swim? Afraid of predators, dense bones, small lungs, dense bones. What did Vladimir Nabokov have a cabinet full of? Coins, stamps, butterfly genitalia specimens, butterfly genitalia specimens. How much of Shrek did Chris Farley record before his death? 50%, 40%, 85%, 85%. What was Neil Gaiman's first book? A biography of Duran Duran, The Sandman, Coraline, a biography of Duran Duran. Why do football players spit? To cool down their throat? To intimidate their opponents? Because exercise increases saliva? Because exercise increases saliva. How much was the one painting Van Gogh sold during his lifetime? 700 francs, 400 francs, 1,000 francs, 400 francs. Who predicted the internet in 1974? Isaac Asimov, Arthur C. Clarke, Robert Heinlein, Arthur C. Clarke. The first recorded T reference occurred where? In a British document, in a Japanese document, in a Chinese document, in a Chinese document. When was sliced bread invented? 1935, 1900, 1928, 1928. When did the first color TV show air? 1951, 1948, 1953, 1951. Avocado comes from the Aztec word that means what? Fruit, testicle, nut, testicle. Who was offered the throne of Greece in 1862? Prince Alfred, Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Leopold of Belgium, Prince Arthur, Duke of Connaught, Prince Alfred, Duke of Edinburgh. What is the best-selling game of all time? Grand Theft Auto, Minecraft, Tetris, Minecraft. What is the longest anyone has ever held their breath underwater? About 24 minutes? About 15 minutes? About 19 minutes? About 24 minutes. How many rejections did Louis L'Amour receive before being published? 200? 100? 150? 200. Who is Mickey Spillane's most famous character? Columbo, Sherlock, Mike Hammer, Mike Hammer. How many mainland beaches does Australia have? Around 11,345, around 20,001, around 10,654, around 10,654. In what season do U.S. murder rates rise? Spring, fall, summer, summer. How many times can you fold a piece of A4 paper? 7, 4 times, 8 times, 7 times. How long would it take a gray-headed albatross to circle the globe? About 60 days, about 46 days, about 32 days, about 46 days. As of the 2023 herd estimate, how many pigs does China have? 850 million, 434 million, 108 million. 434 million. Which of these books did Roald Dahl write? Matilda, Winnie the Pooh, Coraline, Matilda. What are cryptic pregnancies? A pregnancy that goes unnoticed, a fake pregnancy, a stillborn pregnancy, a pregnancy that goes unnoticed. What is the name of the first video game ever created? Pong, Space War, Tennis for Two, Tennis for Two. Who was T.S. Eliot's great uncle? Thomas Dawes Eliot, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Henry David Thoreau. Thomas Dawes Eliot. Tory is an Irish word that means what? Merchant, bandit, farmer, bandit. Who created I Dream of Jeannie? Sidney Sheldon, Rod Serling, Gene Roddenberry, Sidney Sheldon. How long did it take to write the Brady Bunch theme song? A week? A few minutes? 2 months? A few minutes. How old was Mrs. Beeton when she began her famous cookbook? 25, 28, 21, 21. What type of brick can withstand compression better than concrete? Clay bricks, foam bricks, glass bricks, clay bricks. What was Thomas Hardy's only acting role? A silent film? None, he was a writer. Hamlet? None, he was a writer. Who created a celebrity cricket team? Sachin Tendulkar, Vishnu Vardhan Induri, David Beckham, Vishnu Vardhan Induri. What was Gene Wilder's condition of playing Willy Wonka? That he be paid double, that he direct the movie, to use the cane and then somersault, to use the cane and then somersault. Where was author James Joyce born? Ireland, Scotland, UK, Ireland. Wearing a tie can reduce blood flow to the brain by how much? About 7.5%, about 11.3%, about 5.6%, about 7.5%. What was Dostoevsky's death sentence? Hanging, electric chair, firing squad, firing squad. What country is wider than the moon? Australia, Russia, Brazil, Australia. What type of ray is the largest? Sting, devil, manta, manta. Africa is how many times larger than Greenland? 20 times, 10 times, 14 times, 14 times. How did Tennessee Williams die? Choked on a plastic bottle cap, fell off a boat, hit by a car, choked on a plastic bottle cap. Which planet is the closest to Earth? Mars, Venus, Mercury, Mercury. What pseudonym did Samuel Taylor Coleridge use when he enlisted in the Army? Charles Hartley, Andrew Marvell, Silas Tompkin Cumberbatch, Silas Tompkin Cumberbatch. Who was the youngest Best Actor nominee in Oscar history? Jackie Cooper, Mickey Rooney, River Phoenix, Jackie Cooper. Who wrote Ode to My Socks? Federico Garcia Lorca, Pablo Neruda, Gabriela Mistral, Pablo Neruda. Wind turbines painted with one black blade kill how many fewer birds? 60%, 80%, 70%, 70%. Where does the phrase dark horse come from? Chess, horse racing, mining, horse racing. Who coined the term verbicide? Oliver Wendell Holmes, Samuel Johnson, James Joyce, Oliver Wendell Holmes. What do platypuses sweat? Milk, venom, blood, milk. Who was originally supposed to play Mike Brady? Robert Young, Fred McMurray, Gene Hackman, Gene Hackman. When was the first working television created? 1920s, 1930s, 1910s, 1920s. Who was the first person to use the word outsider as a noun? Louisa May Alcott, Charlotte Bronte, Jane Austen, Jane Austen. What is the happiest country on earth? Finland, Denmark, Norway, Finland. What is one of gaming's most famous cheat codes? IDDQD, Konami code, Motherlode, Konami code. What does being bored cause your heart to do? Slow down, rise and fall, stay constant, rise and fall. What was T.S. Eliot's full name? Thomas Stearns Eliot, Thomas Stephen Eliot, Theodore Stearns Eliot, Thomas Stearns Eliot. What is the new car smell? Volatile organic compounds, fresh leather, ozone from air filters, volatile organic compounds. What does it rain on Saturn's moon, Titan? Sulfuric acid, liquid nitrogen, methane, methane. What trees can predict rain? Oak trees, pine trees, maple trees, pine trees. How many calories does your brain burn? Around 600, around 100, around 300, around 300. What did Antarctica used to be? Glacier, rainforest, desert, rainforest. How many saunas does Finland have for every person? 1.67, 2.5, 2.2, 1.67. Maybe that's why they're so happy. Who did Maurice Sendak base Where the Wild Things Are on? Mythical creatures, his aunts and uncles, children in his neighborhood, his aunts and uncles. What is polyphilia? Multiple nipples, clubbed foot, cleft lip, multiple nipples. How long did it take to develop the original Super Mario Brothers? Under a year, over a year, 2 years, under a year. Who was Virginia Woolf related to? Emily Dickinson, Arthur Conan Doyle, Julia Margaret Cameron, Julia Margaret Cameron. Who invented the word serendipity? C.S. Lewis, William Blake, Horace Walpole, Horace Walpole. What real-world scientist is Breaking Bad's Heisenberg based on? Albert Einstein, Richard Feynman, Werner Heisenberg, Werner Heisenberg. What is the longest-running talk show? Larry King Live, The Late Show, The Tonight Show, The Tonight Show. How many teeth do common garden snails have? About 20,000, about 5,000, about 14,000, about 14,000. What part of the moon landing did NASA fake? The whole thing? None. The flag waving? None. What does Kurt Vonnegut have named after him in space? Asteroid, comet, star, asteroid. What do dogs do when they hear familiar words? Turn head or wag tail, bark, roll over, turn head or wag tail. What day wouldn't Truman Capote start or end a story on? Monday, Saturday, Friday, Friday. Why did they use coconuts in Monty Python and the Holy Grail? A medieval stage tradition. Couldn't afford horses. To make people laugh. Couldn't afford horses, but it was funny too. What author invented the name Vanessa? Charlotte Bronte, Jonathan Swift, William Shakespeare, Jonathan Swift. Where did T.E. Lawrence once lose his manuscript? At a Reading railway station? In Cairo? When he lent it to a friend who never returned it? At a Reading railway station. How did the playwright Moliere die? During an audition? In his sleep? During a production of his final play? During a production of his final play. What percentage of Canada's population lives below Seattle's latitude? Over 70%? Over 40%? Over 90%? Over 70%. How many miles is Norway's coast? About 80,205, about 50,302, about 64,000, about 64,000. Who invented the bra strap in 1871? Hermione Cadoll, a corset maker, Mark Twain. Mark Twain. What happened during Alexander Dumas's first duel? He passed out. He lost his pants. He lost his hand. He lost his pants. What did Jack Kerouac type on the road on? Scroll of paper, carbon paper, notebook paper, scroll of paper. What was the title of the first U.S. edition of Ian Fleming's Casino Royale? You Asked for It, Casino Royale, Now You See It, You Asked for It. What did James Joyce die of? Heart attack, cancer, perforated ulcer, perforated ulcer. Which U.S. state holds an annual Ernest Hemingway look-alike contest? Georgia, Florida, New York, Florida. What did Noel Coward check every morning? The newspaper, outside his window, his mirror, the newspaper. Who proposed the Snigger point punctuation mark? Edgar Allan Poe, H.P. Lovecraft, Ambrose Bierce, Ambrose Bierce. What do comets smell like? burnt wood, nothing, rotten eggs, rotten eggs. Suzanne Collins was a writer for what children's show? Arthur, Sesame Street, Oswald, Oswald. What does whiskey mean in Gaelic? Water of life, golden nectar, fire of the gods, water of life. What is the most commonly used word in the English language? And, the, be, the. What did Washington Irving suffer from? Dysentery, insomnia, malaria, insomnia. What was Lara Croft's almost name? Victoria Cruz, Lana Cruz, Laura Cruz, Laura Cruz. What is the longest recorded case of constipation in a person? 45 days, 87 days, 102 days, 102 days. Who created Tetris? John Carmack, Alexei Pajitnov, Shigeru Miyamoto, Alexei Pajitnov. About how many times a day do cows defecate? Around 3 times? Around 30 times? Around 14 times? Around 14 times. What was Bill Bryson's first book? Bryson's Dictionary of Troublesome Words, At Home, A Short History of Private Life, A Short History of Nearly Everything, Bryson's Dictionary of Troublesome Words. Last question. How long can glass sponges live? 1,000 years? Around 5,000 to 6,000 years? Over 10,000 years? Over 10,000 years. How'd you do? Thanks for playing along with Quiz Time. I hope you had a blast and maybe even jogged a few fun memories. If you enjoyed this quiz, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to click the bell so you'll be the first to know when a new quiz drops. Share your score in the comments below, and we'll see you next time for some more fun trivia.